Okay, 72 Datsun 510 wagon. Oldsmobile Quad 4, we'll get to that in a minute. Original paint, except for obviously that hood. And original interior, which is good, not great. Okay, so starting at the rear here, just take a quick look. The hatch itself is not original paint. It's been replaced, and you can kind of see a little bit. It's just slightly off color-wise. Not so much that you'd ever notice it, especially with it being like sort of a separate panel from the others. But it is just a hair off. Because for some reason the hatch got replaced. I don't know exactly why. I presume a rear end accident. The previous owner added the Datsun lettering across the back, which I really quite like. But it's not, I don't think they came that way. The rear bumper's in good shape. These are spot welds, dimples, which are pretty normal. And then let's go lower. Kind of see that lower panel also is in nice, solid condition. Okay, we'll open the hatch. That works fine. Okay, sorry if this is sketchy. I'm just rolling with my cell phone. Okay, that panel there is quite nice. It's got the original vents there. Leather stripping is fair. Doesn't stink. Oh, there's a spot in there. Doesn't stink when you drive it, like exhaust roll, like every 240Z in the world. This one's really not bad, and part of that probably is because of the fuel injection. Okay, so that piece of trim is broken. There's part of it, you know, it's kind of bouncing around in the back, but it's not all there. But it doesn't hurt anything. It's just broken. And then I believe that wire was for the license plate lamp, but this hatch is off of or the bumper is off of a different car, and license plate lamps are on the bumper itself. So that wire is just there. It doesn't do anything. That light there isn't working. Could be probably made to work, but I've never tried, never needed it. And then you got this piece of trim here. This one's broken, or this one's not broken. This one is broken, as you can see. Most of it's there, but some of it's gone. Okay, as far as the rear interior panels, they're pretty nice. The back of the seat there. This rear interior panel looks like it may have gotten a little bit of water damage. You can see it sort of out of shape at the bottom. The carpet's sort of aftermarket, and it's just covering the original pad, which I've never taken out because the carpet's sort of glued down by that piece of trim there. And it's just not something I've needed to do. All right, so that's the, oh man, I should have vacuumed this thing. With the rear seat folded down. And those latches are all intact and they work. There is a hole in the headliner right there, which I think I put a picture up of already. And here we go on around the side. Okay, the big selling points of this car is the rest of the car. Mainly, this is original paint. As you can see, these lights make it look way worse than it is, but as you can see, it's got some character. And some scratches. There's a long scratch that goes kind of down the middle. I believe someone had a roof rack on this car at one point. There's a spot there that somebody polished through. Of course, being original paint, it must have been needed to be polished. And then along this sort of edge, the driver's side edge, you can see a few dings. Keep in mind too that these dings are sort of really exacerbated by the LED lights that I have in my shop. And on down. The rest of it's really nice and straight. There's a little ripple right there. I don't know if you see that. I can go around the other side. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know, I've never noticed these when it's outside in the sun. Okay. Quarter panel. nice, and I am trying to highlight these flaws just so you can see them. One right there, a little ding, and it's again original paint Datsun. There's the underside of the quarter panel, super solid. And as we go up, some paint rubbed off here and there. On around, seam is super good. That's just a chip in the paint right there. There is one little rust bubble right in that dog leg. You can kind of see that's really the only one on the car. The seam is good, so really nice. Rear door, pretty much perfectly straight. There's one little ding, sort of where that wheel is going back and forth. Door jambs. A little bit of rust there, but nothing rusted through. And again, the size of that is just tiny when you really put it in perspective. And then on down and around. Door panel, little, you know, edged, but all there, presentable. Especially with the door closed, you never see that bit. Underside of the door. And I'm gonna do this one, but not the rest, but they're all the same. Not rusted through. One thing, this piece of trim has sort of been added by, you know, it's aftermarket, but it looks roughly the same, and I liked it, so I left it. This rubber obviously shot. The the window fuzzies have all been replaced all the way around, which makes the door sound way better when you close them. Okay, the driver's door has a pretty good sort of crease in it right here, which probably a paint-free dent guy isn't going to be able to do a whole lot with that one, but he could probably straighten out all the other ones. This sort of trim here is all in good shape, but it could use that sort of the fuzzies and everything in there to kind of keep. When I wash it, I don't spray water above the, you know, the window line. Otherwise, it, you know, you don't want the water going down inside there. Okay, these two hinges have been replaced. That there isn't rust. It's like throw from a buffer wheel. It's just, yeah, old buffing compound. And then on down. I presume that those were replaced because the old ones were worn out. And then there's that panel, or that plate, and rocker panel. Let's go with the underside of the rocker panel. Just super solid all the way around. Okay, we'll get to the interior in just a second. Another scratch there. And the front fender, this is the worst of the sort of body damage on this car. It's that bit's nothing really to speak of, but the front corner got bashed pretty good. And it got hammered back out. So you'll see it's quite kind of lumpy. I would call it lumpy. It's fine and it looks good going down the street, but yeah, that's lumpy. The front grille is really good. I should say just grille. Really nice. Front bumper's good. That panel underneath is really nice. The hood, rattle can black. Previous owner said that there was a small engine fire which damaged the paint, so rather than pay a body guy, he just rattle canned it black, which I don't mind. Some people don't like it. Front fender, I'm gonna gloss over these and you see a bolt missing there for that, but bumper, a little bit of damage right there. A lot of these are just, you know, the years showing. Oh, these rims we'll talk about in a minute. Windshield, big rock chip there, which is annoying. I need to get that fixed. Small rock chip down here, which was also annoying, but that one I did get glued back up, so it should be okay. It's annoying and there, but and then the windshield has a few nicks and dings in it. It's a little scratchy, and again, these lights just highlight everything. A little bit of a flaw there on the front of the top, and another one right there, which, yeah, you can kind of see that. This door, and the rest of this side is really nice. It's almost doesn't even have very many, no door dings. It's, again, it's old, so it's got a few little spots, but like, there's some spots where the paint's been chipped off and stuff. But all in all, for 50-year-old paint, really nice. Okay, and then we'll look under here at this door or wheel arch. This is a little dent here, and that looks like rust, and so does that upper one, but that's just paint chipped off. And then on down, and more rocker panel. So, okay. So that's the condition of the body, and again, I'm trying to point out all the flaws so there's no surprises. Let's just quickly look at the interior here. Rear seat, really quite nice. Oh, I can't see it though. Original. Yeah, nobody ever sits in the back seat, so this could stand to be re-glued. Door panels, nice shape. I showed you that already. That door panel looks good. The front seat, oh, front door panel, nice. The weather strip is, so we can get it to, there we go. Serviceable, but need to be replaced sometime soon. It's got a 240Z steering wheel. The seats are, the front seats are both torn and taped and so forth. I put this t-shirt on here because the back of this one is kind of the worst of it, and it was getting glue on my regular clothes, so I just covered it over. And then, oh, okay, we'll talk about the gauges real quick. Oh, and the speakers. These speakers cut into the door panels, which I don't love, but boy, it's nice to have a working functional stereo with Bluetooth. Although I always use a cord, but it does have Bluetooth. It's well mounted. It's really solid. Glove boxes intact. You can see in there there's an OBD2 scanner, which this car has a functional OBD2 port. This is kind of cool. A full set of gauges here with a real temperature gauge, which isn't normalized like a lot of cars. And then a functional check engine light, high beam light, oil pressure light, and battery light, which if I just turn the key to the on position, yeah, there you go. It's pretty cool. Stereo lights up. And then over here we have tachometer, fuel gauge, and speedo. So this all was put in obviously when the engine swap was done. So since then the engine's gone 11,500 miles. Pretty good. And then yeah, the rest of the headliner is, it's okay. It's not drooping down, but it does have a tear there, and then one over on the side there. But it's intact. I always thought the car was kind of like a cool patina, so I didn't worry about little details like that. The shoulder belts are missing. The lap belts are present and working. Under the hood, which you've seen in pictures, but I'll quickly run through it. Okay, so the underside of the hood has had some, so it's not real tarry, but it's like a undercoating kind of thing under there. This relief was cut in here for the oil cap. It's the only clearance issue, and it doesn't rattle or anything now since that's clearanced. And that's a coolant overflow side flow radiator out of a Volkswagen, I believe. And then, yeah, cleaned up. The battery's been relocated to under the driver's seat. It's an AGM battery, so it can be in there. Original wiring meets up with the aftermarket wiring and the ignition coils. Fuel pressure gauge, new hydraulics, major or main engine fuse to protect the ECM and all of that, and the aftermarket oil pressure sending unit, and the K&N style filter down here. Alternator is the only accessory here, which, you know, so it doesn't have any AC or power steering or anything like that, but really a nicely done swap. You can see this exhaust pipe, it looks like there'd be clearance issues, and there actually probably should be a heat shield between that brake line and the exhaust, but in 11,000 miles it's been no issue. If I was going to track this car, I would build a heat shield there, and maybe just anyway. So, okay, so now just quickly we'll go underneath, and you can see the dual sway bars, which mount to the same spot. Well, the same, you know, I think the lowering block there on the strut, and that's just an original strut up in there. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's just a Datsun strut, no coilovers or anything. This coolant hose rubs on here, and so this is just an extra insulation there. Clean, no drips. In fact, I don't think this car might drip a little bit out of the back of the transmission, but otherwise no. Some replaced bushings here. Really quite a lot of nice work done under here, and as you can see, pretty clean. Okay, and stepping back a little farther, it's just got an adapter plate, which is kind of hard to highlight, but to adapt the Datsun 5-speed to the GM. One nice thing about having a Datsun 5-speed in here is you could pull this engine out, throw an L motor in if you wanted to, and it would take almost no effort. A little bit of wiring, a little bit of reassembling the original, but yeah, it's all kind of all there. The original motor mounts or this mount locations are still there, and then we just fabricated brackets to hold the Datsun style motor mounts in here. So yeah, very simple. Really quite a nice exhaust all the way back, which is a little bit rowdy, but not bad. If you're not getting on it, it's not making much racket. And then just, you can see super clean, not much rust. A little dent here where it got kind of bottomed out, it looks like, or lifted with a jack there. And all the cool, you can see my cool midget in the background, and yeah, the fuel lines and all that stuff. Okay, that's all I got.